Hello and welcome to another episode of the Quantum Creating Podcast with me, Paul Webb, the Quantum Mentor, bringing the world of the formless into form and other true stories. And I want to start by just thanking you all for the feedback from last week's episode I did with my amazing guest, the wonderful Yasmin Ibrahim. Your response, your comments, your messages have been absolutely delightful to read. So thank you very, very much for that. And I will be bringing another guest to you very, very soon. But today's topic on this, I believe, is the 6th edition of the podcast, the Quantum Creating Podcast, is about action. And, in my coaching practices, when I talk to people, when I talk to audiences, when I do podcasts, when I do events, the missing component for so many people is taking what's up here in their mind and through their behaviors and their habits, actioning that thought or those thoughts. And it's in that action, in that physical work, that we create the results. That if everything is aligned from the thought to the words, to the feelings, the emotions, the behaviors, the habits, and these actions that we take will ultimately lead to the results we want. And as I say, the missing component for so many people is action. And I think the reason is that so many people today want it now. We live in a society where we can get anything we want at the click of a button. We live in a society where people are conditioned, and yes, I use the word conditioned because it's all learned behavior, that everything they want they can have immediately with no effort. And I'm sorry, but that's not how it works. Not in the real world, certainly not in the quantum world. And you see, you have to align with the quantum world. You have to bring the formless into form. And the way you bring the formless into form is you take action. Now, I teach this concept in my coaching programs called 3, 2, 1, boom. And basically, it's about taking immediate action. You see, science tells us that we have about 3 to 5 seconds between making a decision to do something and actually doing it before we talk ourselves out of it. So that's not a lot of time. 1, 2, 3. And you're already rolling over in bed and hitting the snooze button, or picking up the TV remote control, or reaching for that coffee or chocolate biscuit. You have to take immediate action, and you have to do it even when you don't feel like it. And you want to know a secret? You're not often going to feel like it. There are going to be days, there are going to be times, there are going to be situations where you aren't going to feel like taking action. And you know what? The quantum world doesn't care. The laws of the universe don't care. They work 100% everywhere all the time. That's why they're universal laws. Quantum mechanics is rooted in science. It's rooted in experimental and proven science and mathematics. It's the law of probability, the law of possibility, the law of potential. In the quantum field of reality, this information field that pervades everywhere in the universe, 100% working, as I say, everywhere, all the time. It's all about the action you take. It's all about alignment. It's all about what you do on a daily basis. So you can't say you want this new thing, this new life, this upgrade, and then not work towards it. And you know what? I truly believe that the universe knows this. And in some wild and wacky way, as a sort of a wink to humanity, it makes us go through the process of action because it wants to see that we are serious. Think about it for a moment. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to go from seed to plant. 5 years. But it's not doing nothing in those 5 years. All the work, all the action is happening underneath the surface of the earth. And in those 5 years, it's laying out roots all over the place. It's laying out a foundation of success so that when it pops through in all these different places after 5 years, it will survive and it will go on and regenerate and go for many, many, many forests to come. And that's what daily action is. Daily action is reaffirming to the quantum field that we are serious about what we're doing. It's about reaffirming our desire to have something that we don't have now. And in doing the work, taking daily action, we are committing to building the foundation so that when the results start pouring in, we have that strong foundation on which to build from. This is why when people get it right, you see people pop up and you call them an overnight success. They're not overnight successes. They've been working on this foundation for years, but you don't see that work. Unfortunately, the downside of social media is you don't get to see the daily work. What you get is the highlight reel. So you see people's successes. You see their imagined successes as well, but that's another story. And you think that you can do it now without going through the learning process. There's a reason that the best in the world at anything are few and far between, because they're the ones that can commit and keep committing and keep coming back day after day after day. If you follow me on Facebook, and I hope you do, you'll notice that every morning around about 9 o'clock-ish, I do a live from the gym showing you daily deliberate practice. It's part of my ongoing commitment to being in the best shape I can be in when I hit 50 in 17 weeks or so. I've been doing it now for 5 weeks. I haven't missed a day. I get people messaging me about it and telling me how amazed they are that I can keep turning up every day. And it shouldn't be an amazement. It should be something that we accept as read. You have to show up every single day. You have to show the universe you're serious. The law of gender decrees, that you sow what you reap, that there's a gestation period, that you sow the seed and then you tend the soil. You keep the weeds out. They're your thoughts that are toxic and negative. You keep pruning them back. You keep tilling the soil. You give your mind that good quality narrative that enables that seed to germinate. And in taking that daily work, you prepare for the time that the harvest comes and you reap the reward. And everything's cyclical. We reap, we care for, we sow. Then we have to reap again. It's not a never-ending cycle of harvest, harvest, harvest. There's the reaping first. Again, these are universal laws that are 100% present and effective everywhere in the universe at the same time. And you and I are subject to them, subject to these laws. You don't need to know them. You don't even need to know how they work, but you need to align with them. And if you follow someone like myself and other great teachers, you'll know the steps you need to take. So remember, it's all in the daily action. This deliberate practice that you do with presence, that you do with focus, that you do with desire. These are very important concepts in creating magic in your life, in upgrading any area. Focus, desire, presence. If you're not present, if you're not fully focused, and if you don't desire the outcome and the process by which you attain that outcome, then you're never gonna reap the harvest. And you'll be one of these people that keep ringing me up or messaging me and say, it's easy for you. You want to know the real secret? The real secret is you don't know how simple this stuff really is. And that you can contrive to make excuse after excuse about how hard it is and how hard done by you are and how it's not your fault and how what a teacher said in 5th grade or elementary school or primary school or college, has ruined the rest of your life because you know that you won't amount to anything. It's all BS, people. You inherently know this. We have all this information inside of us. You just put limits up. So I hope in some small way that by listening to this podcast and listening to me on other mediums, seeing me at an event or taking part in one of my free challenges on Facebook, or even investing in one of my programs, that you go some way to taking the steps necessary to upgrade your own life and create real magic. And after all, who doesn't want to create real magic? And on that subject, I just want you to be aware that my latest free Facebook challenge, Creating Real Magic, will be starting again on the 10th of September. Now, you don't have to do anything at the moment other than just keep an eye out for more information. I will be, in about a week or so, starting to open up registration for that challenge. So I'll keep you updated with that. But for now, thank you so much for joining me on yet another Quantum Creating podcast, bringing the world of formless into form. And remember, simplicity plus consistency equals success. Decide what you want. Take a no judgmental look at where you are. Look at the gap between the two. Decide what goes in the gap, and then take action on closing that gap. And if you do it with focus, if you do it with presence, and if you do it with desire, you will create real magic. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a truly magnificent week. Bye for now.